Say goodbye to your credit card rewards. Big box retailers, led by Walmart and Target, are pushing for a bill in Congress to take away your hard-earned cash back and travel points to line their pockets. Senate Bill 1838 would enact harmful credit card routing mandates that would end credit card rewards as we know it. If you love your credit card rewards, visit handsoffmyrewards.com and tell them to oppose credit card routing legislation paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows, but also bonus episodes each month. But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
Because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/BloodyHappyHour.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this is your Bloody Happy Hour. Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
Oh, and this is Caroline.
Turn up, turn up, turn up.
Turn up Tuesday.
Tuesday. And this is just the Quickie edition. And we're going to talk about some news.
Yep. What's going on? What's the latest? What's
Yeah.
happening? And then, you come back Thursday and you get a full episode.
Yes. And so all the news that I found this week all happened in Texas. Imagine that.
Really? Okay, well, I can add to it a little bit.
Okay. So let's start off with a shooting spree that happened this week.
Oh, in Austin?
Yes.
My sister sent it to me.
34-year-old Shane James of San Antonio was arrested and charged with 2 counts of capital murder after he killed his parents and 4 other people and wounded 2 police officers in a day-long trail of violence from San Antonio to Austin. So he basically just went up I-35, Interstate 35. So this happened on January 5th and 6th-ish because it kind of spilled over.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Wait, January?
December.
Oh. Okay.
I know, I'm a crack. So the attack started Tuesday morning. So he shot and killed his parents between Monday, December 4th at 10 p.m. and Tuesday, December 5th at 9 a.m. So they don't have the exact time, but they know that was like the time frame. So that was the 4th. And then on the 5th at 10:45 a.m., he drove to an Austin school district and was outside of the early college high school. So it's like a high school where they go take college classes, and shot one of the Austin school district police officers. He was just wounded.
Oh, yeah.
At noon, police responded to a home after getting calls about gunshots. When they arrived, one person was dead on arrival, and the other one died at the hospital. This is in a neighborhood about 10 miles away from that school. Quiet, nice neighborhood.
Just random spree.
5 o'clock that same day, a male cyclist was shot. He suffered non-life-threatening injuries. This was now in Austin, okay? His parents lived in San Antonio, but the spree, it's like he went to Austin, was in Austin. 7 o'clock that night, police get a call about a burglary in progress at another home in Austin. Police show up and they find 2 people dead. While at this house, a police officer sees a man in the backyard, and they, of course, pursue the man, and the man shot at them. They shot back, but they missed him, and one of the police officers was wounded and had to go to the hospital while the man drove off. Now, they did pursue him and chase him, and he crashed about 15 minutes later at an intersection on I-35 somewhere. Service Road off I-35, and he was taken into custody.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that this man has a history of mental health problems, of course, and has some prior family assault charges. And he was a former U.S. Army infantry officer, but had no deployments, because as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, what war was he in? It's PTSD, right?
Yeah.
Nope, wasn't deployed anywhere. Must have been on there with Dirty Chad.
Was he a supply clerk? I told you, but she said he was a sniper.
So they kind of look back at his record, and January 2022, he was arrested for assaulting his parents and his sibling. So he's hurt his parents before. He was bailed out by this victim advocate services, where advocate thinking this is a person with mental health. He does not need to be in jail. Maybe there's a better place for him. And I'm sure like there were some things that they needed to follow up and do, like counseling or another placement. And I don't know what that looked like, but they are actually getting a bad name right now because they got this guy out of jail.
Whoopsie.
March of 2022, he cut off his ankle monitor, okay? And then, so that was a violation of his probation for when he went to jail, and they issued him a warrant in March of 2022. Now, when they issue a warrant, that doesn't mean like a warrant comes across your desk and they just come and arrest you. That means you're on this damn warrant list that
if you get pulled over, you'll go to jail.
Thousands of people on, in each county. So if you get pulled over and you get it, then you'll go to jail, but they rarely come seek you out.
Yeah.
Even though I did have a warrant the year I got out of high school for some unpaid MIPs, and the officer did come knock on my door. But he let me follow him down.
How many MIPs did you get? You would damn learn.
Mom, close your ears. 4 or 5, yeah. I know. Did not learn from my lesson.
5. Did you have to do community service and all this stuff?
I had to do alcohol awareness classes in West.
That's
all
called
the time.
AA.
Yeah.
And you got drunk on the way there, drank on the way back. But this guy had an ankle monitor.
He had an ankle monitor.
I would think that would be a little bit higher on the list.
Yeah.
Why do you have an ankle monitor?
Yeah. Well,
what's the point of it then?
They can't monitor you anymore. So my friend's a parole officer, and they put a blue warrant, put a warrant out, but it's still just not immediate.
Your warrant is different than the ankle monitor warrant.
Yeah, and they came and knocked on my door,
and they came exactly. I'm confused.
But this was little bitty. Back then it was North Crest, so like Lacey Lakeview Police Department. So they probably just didn't have shit to do. They came and knocked on the door.
They're just like, okay, girl.
Now they got a whole lot of shit to do. So now August of 2023, police were called to his parents' home where he was reported to be naked in the yard and behaving very strangely. So somebody called the police because naked and afraid and being strange in the yard.
Nope.
He was not arrested because he barricaded himself in his room, and they could not penetrate the room because there's only so much.
I mean, you did not say naked and penetrate in the same breath.
This is also a rated R podcast. So there's only some things you could do in a misdemeanor warrant. So they couldn't knock the door down and arrest him. So they left, and they told the father to call them when he comes out, and then they'll come and arrest him. And father never called.
Father, what a disappointment.
Well, and had he called, he wouldn't be dead right now because...
Oh, he shot himself?
No, he killed his parents before he did this shooting spree, remember?
Yeah.
So dad should have had him arrested then, which actually, even if he did, well, no, that was August of 2023. He might still be in jail in December and wouldn't have been able to do the shooting spree. So he did the spree just now in December. So that's just kind of like a timeline of everything. So when he got up on the 4th, he killed his parents and then just got on I-35 and just randomly shot people. They have made no connections between him and these people that he shot. Now they're still digging, and maybe they will find something. Maybe he'll talk and give us his logic behind it. But I just think it's crazy that this guy was just cycling.
Oh,
and he got shot.
Yeah.
Police officer just was outside doing his job at Austin ISD, got shot. These people in this neighborhood were just at home. Got shot and killed in their home. So just random. We'll follow that. Now I'm going to Houston because we're staying in Texas.
Okay.
And on November 28th, a 21-year-old girl named Idania Maria Campos Munoz was reported missing when she didn't show up to school. So she's 21 years old. She went to HCC, Houston Community College. The family and her boyfriend, Ariel Cruz, immediately searched for her. Okay, so they are trying to call her. They are contacting friends. They are just searching anywhere for her. They track her phone to a parking lot, and they found her Honda Civic parked on Indigo Street in Houston. They were concerned because when they looked in the window, you saw her purse and her belongings, but also the fact that her cell phone was in the car and not with her. Like, that's just not normal these days of anybody, but especially a young 21-year-old. So they knock on the doors kind of in the area where her car was found to get answers, and nobody recognized the car. Nobody saw the car come in. Nobody saw anybody leave the car. And so they called the police, and the police, Houston Police Department, came, looked around, and left. Oh, there's nothing to really search here. So they left. The family was like, hell no, something's wrong. I need to get in this car. So they call a locksmith to try to get in the car, but the locksmith could not unlock the door.
Oh my gosh.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Say goodbye to your credit card rewards. Big box retailers, led by Walmart and Target, are pushing for a bill in Congress to take away your hard-earned cash back and travel points to line their pockets. Senate Bill 1838 would enact harmful credit card routing mandates that would end credit card rewards as we know it. If you love your credit card rewards, visit handsoffmyrewards.com and tell them to oppose credit card routing legislation paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
So they didn't give up. One of the relatives got a hammer and busted out the window of the car because they wanted to get in. They wanted to get that cell phone. Who's the last person you was with? Who's the last person you were talking to? What kind of clues or receipts or something can I find? But when they popped the trunk, they found Idania in the trunk of her own car, unresponsive. When they called the police ambulance, she was pronounced dead on the scene with signs of trauma to her face. So somebody had beat her and stuffed her in the trunk and left her car there.
And the cops came and and then they left.
Yeah. How dumb did they feel, I wonder? But I wonder if it's like the Jennifer Cave. No, I don't know. I'm not even going to take my mind there. So remember I said the family and the boyfriend were all like searching and looking for her and very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so who will the police talk to first if a 21-year-old girl goes missing and is found dead? Who do you think they're going to question?
I mean, the family
The
and
family
the boyfriend.
and
I
the
guess, if
boyfriend.
you're
Okay.
21, yeah.
So they talked to the boyfriend, and he confessed to killing her. And he had a great reason.
Oh, she didn't like respond correctly to his like text or something, or
She broke up with him.
okay, yeah, that's
So
good
he,
reason.
if I can't have you, nobody can. So then he shot her, he killed her, stuffed her in a trunk.
You know, this kind of will
What's
relate
happening?
to our Thursday story.
Okay.
Stupid
Jealousy?
no, just for no like what
Oh,
stupid
yeah.
no reason.
No reason.
Nothing.
Those are the worst. But then when they give a reason, it's never a good reason either. So we're just never going to be satisfied. So, I just thought that was sad. They were 21 and 22.
What did he do? Did you say? Did he like beat her in the face?
He beat her and he
Choked.
shot her.
Oh, and he
Yeah.
shot her.
Yeah. Stuffed her in the trunk. And then
And this is
went
wide
to
open
the family. It was like in some neighborhood. Now, and then you go and you help the family look for her.
Yeah.
Genuinely concerned. Knowing that any minute it's all going to blow up in your face.
Yes.
Sad.
That is that is sociopathic because you just have no there's no emotion, you don't feel
Yeah.
anything. You just don't feel a thing.
Or you're trying to cover your bases, hoping that like they won't link it to you, hoping that Houston Police Department is like some of these other police departments and they'll rule it as suicide, like Ellen Greenberg.
The worst.
So, I don't know. Sometimes you got a 50-50 chance with getting a ridiculous police department. You can get away with it. So, and then Susan Smith. Well, so that's not in Texas. That's in South Carolina. She's back in the news. We talked about it off the air last week. So since she's been in jail. So if you haven't gone, listen to our Killer Mothers episode month. We covered Andrew Yates. We covered Susan Smith. We covered Diane Stout. And another.
Diane Stout?
Somebody Stout. You did her. She was the nurse. Look at it. Look at her. She can't remember her own story. It might have been it was Diane Stout. She was the nurse that killed her daughter or something. She was real ugly. Anyways, go back and listen to it. But you know the story. She's the girl that was real thirsty, wanted a boyfriend, but her boyfriend didn't want kids. She drove her car into a lake and then went and said the black man robbed her, stole the car. So they quickly found out it was her. So she's been in jail. This is about 94-ish. And she's been real busy since she's been in jail. And I don't remember if I covered this on the episode. So she had been in trouble for engaging in sexual relationships with guards many a times. In 2000, she was actually caught in the act of engaging in sexual activities with the guard and contracted a STD.
Oh, well, good for her. She
That
is keeping busy.
Guard lost his pension and had to be jailed for 3 months. Then later on, she had an affair with a prison captain. He confessed to having an ongoing sexual affair with her, and he ended up losing his job, his pension, and getting a 5-year probation sentence. Like, it is just not worth it. She also has had 2 drug offenses since then.
She's doing really good.
And in 2021, she actually entered a long, committed distance relationship with a divorced father who saw an interview of her, fell in love, wrote her a letter, and is willing to start a whole new life with her and forgive her of her past mistakes.
Oh, wow. So, yeah,
and
they're going to have a good life.
Yeah.
It's just a long-distance relationship.
And he's single father, so you're going to let this mom come and be a stepmom to your kid? She killed her
Well,
own
she's not
kids.
ever getting out.
Oh, she's up
Oh.
for parole in November 2024.
Okay, well, she's up for parole. This bitch gets
So,
out.
do you think she will be granted parole?
Hell no.
After all that, one, she better not. Two, you usually don't get it your first time your name comes up unless
Right.
there's some random ass loophole in the justice system like there
Oh,
was
hell.
for Ed Graff and like there was for Kenneth McDuff. So I'm definitely going to be watching that just to see if she gets out. Or at least see the interview of when.
The Hart family. I did the Hart family murders.
No. You still
Diane
did that
Stout. I don't have a clue who that is. I mean, obviously I do because I did a whole episode on her.
I'm trying to think of something specific about her. Just do the name. I mean, Google the face.
I know. I just had to find out who it was.
That was the you did that on Mother?
Yeah.
The Killer Mothers?
Yep.
I guess they were Killer Mothers. Okay, and lastly, in Austin, this week, December 6th, actually was the 32nd anniversary of the Austin yogurt shot murders.
Oh.
So we have not covered this story. It maybe could be a future story. I did read the book years ago. It wasn't a great book.
No. We both tried to read that book.
Yeah.
That was the first one. And I was like, I can't.
It was not a great book.
We both got real bored with it. I don't know why.
I had to rate it for a book club.
Yeah.
But I ended up, I was just like, I'm not remembering not one thing that I read. Yes.
Unsolved.
Firefighters responded to a fire at I Can't Believe It's Yogurt Shop around midnight on December 6, 1991. They were shocked to find the bodies of employees Eliza Thomas, she was 17, and Jennifer Harbinson, she was 17, but also Jennifer's sister Sarah was there. She was 15, and her friend Amy Ayers was there. She was 13. They were the only people found inside. Now, only Eliza and Jennifer worked there. Sarah was there with Amy just having yogurt and visiting her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the girls weren't just burned, though. They had been tied up, stacked on top of each other, shot in the head, and at least one of the teens had been raped, which she was probably the target now that I think about it. If only one of them was raped. A couple told the police that one of the girls locked up after them because they were the last customers about an hour earlier. So I guess they left the yogurt shop about 11-ish. And they locked up behind them so nobody could have come in afterwards, or they didn't think so. Investigators found no signs of forced entry at the shop and noted that a back door, that's where the suspects probably fled from. So I feel like they thought that somebody was hiding in the bathroom, and they locked it up, came out, and then
or waited
did
for
what
those
they
people
did.
to leave, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
It had to have been multiple people, though, I think. I mean,
yes, yeah. So 2 guns were used, a .22 revolver and a .380 semi-automatic pistol were used in the killings. Now, investigators theorized that the teen girls were forced into the storage room, forced to undress. They were bound by their own undergarments, sexually assaulted. And after they were killed, shot in the back of their heads, then they, of course, set the place on fire to cover up their crime. Using paper products from the yogurt shop, so like the napkins and stuff there, they just doused it in lighter fluid so they came prepared and set the place on fire. In August of 1992, so a year later, they began searching for 3 men who were indicted on an unrelated abduction and sexual assault, saying that they wanted to question them for the quadruple homicide, right? So 3 men get in trouble for sexual assault and kidnapping. And they're like, well, could they have something to do with this one? So they questioned them. But ultimately, like, one of the guys confessed and then recanted his statement.
Oh, okay.
Ultimately, police zeroed in on 4 different teenage boys: Maurice Pierce, Michael Scott, Robert Springsteen, and Forrest Welburn. Now, they were found at a mall with a gun that matched one of the guns that were used to kill them. And police now start focusing on them. They were detained. They were questioned multiple times over the years. And by 1999, so 8 years after the murders, they had confessed to the murders. But there were no physical evidence or witnesses that tied them to the scene.
So I guess they didn't.
So they were
also didn't know anything that
they didn't give anything that could have been credible. So they just say that,
or
like
anything
people
that
confess.
Only the killer would have known.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people confess to crimes all the time. I don't know what they get out of that. Attention, maybe. And so they ultimately just weren't the ones who got arrested, and so there was just no trial, no justice, no anything.
Mm-hmm.
They were released. Oh no, here's what happened. DNA. So they did some new DNA tests because it was 2001-ish, and early 2000s, and they came back with no matches. So they were released on bond 2009, and then their charges were dropped. So they were actually arrested and in jail and put on death row 2001. But when they recanted that they actually did do it. DNA tests proved that they didn't do it, and so all the charges were dismissed.
Oh, they had a whole ass trial?
Yeah. I missed that, and I forgot about that.
Oh, so did I.
So, no one has since been arrested in this case.
What about like the bullets from the gun? Who's it registered to? Like all that? I guess that's just.
But you still have to have a bullet doesn't have a matching gun. You have to have the gun to show that this is the bullet that it came from, and then the gun has to be registered. So if you have bullets, you just have bullets.
I guess you can figure out what type. I don't know.
Yeah, they know what type of gun.
Yeah. But
that's it. Now they do have DNA, but for some reason FBI has a matching sample from the DNA, but they have refused to provide it to Austin investigators, I guess, too. So I think, to preserve it and maybe wait until you have an actual viable victims, because once you use it, you use it. You can't just reuse it. So 32 years.
Man, I mean, what about their boyfriend? I don't know who. We don't know. I don't know.
I don't know
enough
into the
about
story.
it, yeah.
I just thought that was a big murder that kind of terrorized Austin for a little while, and still unsolved.
The Petito laundry case is taking some exciting new moves.
Yes.
It's confirmed that I guess that 2 days after Gabby went missing, that Brian had called to get an attorney in Wyoming on his way home, and he also called his parents,
said she's gone,
saying that she was, quote, gone.
I did see that.
But apparently, if the parents aren't considered aiding and abetting if they do not lie to the police. If they just withhold it from the police, that's okay. But they just can't lie to the police. So
what's the difference?
This is the law.
With withholding information.
I guess.
Oh, because the police didn't directly question.
Right, because he wasn't even a suspect. Like Brian Laundrie wasn't a suspect for a while. I mean, a little bit, because she wasn't found. When was she found? A couple weeks later, but then they didn't really know where to look, and he was like seeming like the cops weren't on him. They weren't surveilling the house at that point. And then they went on that camping trip.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they found, I guess once we found her and then started going through text messages and figuring out that they were, then I think that he became the suspect. Then he went on the run. But at that point they were lawyered up. And so, but there could be other things that we don't know about. That was just the latest.
But there's no opportunity to lie if you weren't directly asked that question.
Right.
So they just didn't volunteer it. So I can see the difference now. Like they didn't volunteer the information, but they didn't lie about it because they weren't directly asked the question of, do you know if your son had anything to do with this murder?
Right.
Wow. What else?
Those laundry. Eye drops. Well, we haven't talked about eye drops trial. I don't even know. Jesse Krzyzewski. I guess that's about it. I probably had other things, but nope.
All right, that is it. That was a real quick quickie for you. And if you see anything good that we've been missing, please send it to us. We will see y'all next Thursday for a full episode or on Patreon for a bonus episode. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. You can find us on Instagram at bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those two also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Hi, and welcome to Bustles and Bangers with your hostess, Rachel and Christopher.
I love it when you say my name.
And you didn't say hi.
I didn't. You just kept going. I'm going to introduce the book. I'm not reading it. It's because I don't like reading.
Girls like cowboy butts, and those jeans don't hide anything. Find us on Instagram at Bustles and Bangers or on RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Hey, I'm Katie.
And I'm Summer. And this is Monsters in the Attic. So we thought we'd bring people on.
Yeah, it's very real. And we're fortunate to have a lot of friends who have a lot of monsters. And we can't wait to share them with you.
I love that we're so fortunate that we have so many friends with so many monsters. Where can people find us?
Facebook, Instagram, and everywhere they listen to their favorite podcast.
They can find me at my therapist's office.
As they should.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.